welcome back to my YouTube channel. As I always say, this is the place to be. So today guys, I want to talk about marriage in Germany versus marriage in Kenya. There are some similarities at some point, so let me get straight on. The first one is actually a similarity whereby you have to be over 18 years to get married here. Okay, to actually do a wedding, a formal wedding, you have to be over 18 years. That's a law that was actually passed around 2017, if I'm not wrong, but I stand to be corrected. So you have to be over 18 years, same which applies in Kenya. You have to be over 18 years, okay, to be formally or legally married, okay. Me saying formally or legally married, it's because in Africa we have those situations whereby we have some cultures which usually their children who are even below 18 years, they end up getting married. That's a bit traumatizing, and I will not love to talk about it because that's not something that I will even support, because even 18 years, it's still young for someone to get married, but I'm not here to talk about that. Yeah, so that's a similarity. Now this one is quite a difference, whereby you have to, in Germany, you have, if you want to get married, you have to formally get married in a registrar office. This is whereby your wedding will actually be legal, okay. So you must, that's a must. Without getting married in a registrar office, they call it Standesamt, your marriage will not be recognized here in Germany. So you have to do that. That's a must. Yeah, which is quite different from us back in Kenya, whereby we get married in churches, and the marriage is still recognized. We still get a certificate, and it's still okay. Yeah, and there are people who also get married in registrar offices. Yeah, in Kenya wanaitanga harusi DC ama DO. Quite a number of people usually do that, especially if they want to cut the expenses. That is usually a shorter way, instead of doing the other one for church, and then you'll have to invite a lot of people. It's usually quite expensive and all that. And also if people want something fast, okay, so in Kenya you have a variety in which you can do your marriage and still get a certificate. It's not a must that you go to the registrar office. So that's quite a difference compared to here in Germany, okay. So here first you must get to the registrar office, then you can choose whether you want to wed in a church or in a garden. There it's okay because you're already married. Yeah, so and this one is also a difference. You find that here in Germany, during your marriage, maybe that during your wedding, you have to have it's not a must for you to have a witness. It's actually optional. But one thing is that once you're getting married as an immigrant, both the spouses must be there, and if you don't understand the language, you have to have a translator, okay. Compared to Kenya, there must be a witness. Let me tell you, marriage in Kenya is quite different, because if you have an enemy who will want to stop your marriage, you know, they can actually do it. Because for example, in churches like Catholic Church, as I grew up, I will hear marriage, or let me call it a wedding being announced like for 3 weeks prior to the wedding. So you can imagine if you had an ex somewhere who has not gotten over you and tries to create something between the 3 weeks, the wedding might actually not even happen. But it must be a sit down, and they have to look into this, and then they will be able to decide whether to stop the wedding or not. So these weeks are usually crucial, which I find not so good at some given point. Yeah, so that's quite the difference, okay. So here in Germany, having a witness, it's not a compulsory as compared to Kenya. Another similarity here compared to Germany and Kenya is the fact that you are not supposed to be married once you're coming to do another wedding, okay. So if you are married before, you have to be divorced, and you must show the divorce papers. You must show proof that you're divorced to this person, okay? So you find even for immigrants who are looking forward to getting married in Germany, wanting to settle down, maybe to be able also to acquire papers, citizenship, or stay, to be allowed to stay, you must prove that you were never married before. And these documents, they must be gotten from your origin, okay, your land, and they have to be sent here. They must be proved before they are sent. They must prove that you are single, okay, and you're not married, because they don't want you to get married here and yet you have a husband back home. And this is usually a process that usually takes some time here, but it's not different. It's not different from Kenya, okay? In Kenya also, when you're getting married, you are not supposed to be married to another person by law. You're not supposed to be married. I don't know right now if it has changed, because I'm not so familiar with the Kenyan law right now for some time, but I don't know. But I still know that you have to show if you are married. If you aren't married, you have to show some documents. That's a must. That is something that I know. Germany versus marriage here in Kenya, you find that during engagements, when you're engaged, when your fiance engages you, you get a ring. You find that here in Germany, most women, they usually don't wear the engagement ring. Do you know why? What they usually do, most of them exchange the engagement rings for the wedding rings, and make the wedding rings to be made, those engagement rings, to look like the wedding rings of their husband, and they wear them instead during the wedding. And I think that's good, because it saves a lot. It saves money too, compared to us Africans. Meine Güte, compared to Kenya, it's quite different. Once you're engaged, you have to have that engagement ring, and then you also have the wedding ring. So you find most of them wear two. I'm not saying that here in Germany they also don't do that. I've just said majority tend to exchange the engagement rings for the wedding rings, okay? Majority of them, but there are others who want both of the rings. In Kenya, we have the both of them, okay? What will you show your friends? How will you show them that you are engaged? When will you show off? But Africans will show off, you know? So I hope you've enjoyed the video till this point. Do you know of anything about marriage or weddings in Germany compared to weddings in Kenya, the process of the marriage? Let's talk about it, okay? So until my next video, it's a bye-bye for me.